the return of World Gold, the Seoul sky that night looked different. The stars seemed to be more daring to show off their light. The moon shone as if welcoming the return of someone who had been longed for. A young man with a history that cannot be erased by time returns to stand on the stage that has been his home. Jungkook, the golden maknae of BTS, has finally set foot back into the music world, not just as a singer, but as a symbol of hope. Hope on the Stage is not just the name of the concert. It is a promise, a celebration, and a reminder that hope never dies. That even as the world changes, even as time passes, something remains. Jungkook's heartfelt voice, his alluring movements, and the unconditional love of his fans, ARMY. As the curtains opened and the LED screen revealed its silhouette, the room full of thousands of people fell into a moment of silence. Then, an uncontrollable explosion of screams, cries and cheers filled the air. Emotions are so thick. Jungkook stood up, wearing an all-black outfit with silver accents. He didn't say anything. He just stared, and his smile was enough to make everyone know he was back. The first tone, the first tears. The concert opened with the song Begin, a song that has long been associated with BTS' early story. As soon as he sang the first verse, not a few spectators shed tears. Jungkook's voice sounded more mature, deeper, as if each note carried a memory of struggle, sacrifice, and victory. Every time I cry, every time I smile. These words are not just lyrics. They become stories. The audience doesn't just hear, they feel. This concert is not just a musical performance, but an emotional journey that takes everyone back to the early days of BTS, to the times when Jungkook was a teenager, full of fear yet daring to dream. Visual, vocal, and vision. The concert stage was built with a futuristic concept. Blue and purple neon lights shone on a transparent floor that sparkled like icy glass. In the middle, Jungkook moves briskly with a precise and vibrant dance. But his strength is not only in his dance technique, but in the way he conveys the story through movement. Solo songs such as My Time, Standing Next to You, and Euphoria were performed with new, more mature, richer, and more evocative arrangements. As Euphoria played, a large screen played back moments from the past. Snippets of BTS concerts, rehearsals in the studio, and warm interactions with ARMY. Jungkook's voice blended with the images like visual and vocal poetry. His every move exuded confidence. But more than that, there is a humility that cannot be hidden. Amid all the pomp, Jungkook remains the same young man who sings to heal, not to be adored. Praise from heaven and earth. This concert was not only praised by fans. Music critics from around the world called Hope on the Stage the most emotional solo concert in modern K-pop history. Billboard wrote, Jungkook shows how vulnerability can become strength. It's not just singing, it's touching. The Guardian called it a concert with a spiritual narrative. Rolling Stone wrote, Jungkook gave a concert that was not only entertaining, but healing. It's not just a comeback. This is awakening. Of course, the ARMY was the loudest in giving praise. On social media, the hashtag Hope on the Stage is trending #1 in more than 90 countries. Fanbases from all over the world flooded the platform with touching sentences, such as, Jungkook is not returning as a star, but as a light. I felt like I was being hugged throughout the concert. He doesn't just perform, he conveys the soul. Unscripted moment. When Jungkook speaks from the heart. There were moments in the concert that were not written in the script, were not prepared in rehearsals. Moments in which a person gives up everything, lets feelings take over. And that night, after finishing the song Still With You, the lights dimmed, the music stopped, and Jungkook stood in silence. He looked at the audience one by one, as if trying to save those faces into his memory. Her voice was quiet as she said, I miss you, more than I can put into words. The crying broke out, not only from the fans, but also from Jungkook himself. He's not trying to hide it. Tears rolled down his cheeks, but he continued to speak. He talked about how he felt when he decided to go solo, about the nights in the military he spent thinking, are they still waiting for me? And he answered that doubt himself that night, with a stage full of love. You are here. And I am here too. We are still together, he said. And the cheers that burst out after that shook the whole building. No choreography, no instruments, just honesty. And it is precisely it that is the most powerful. Rare collaboration, invisible love. One of the big surprises of the evening was the appearance of special guest Jkcomeback, who had also completed his military service. When the intro of the remix version of Run BTS began to play, the audience was initially confused, until the shadow of a man with a decisive movement appeared from behind the smokescreen. Jkcomeback and Jungkook perform explosive choreography, greeted with incredible screams. But the surprises didn't stop there. After the song was over, they sat together on the steps of the stage. Jkcomeback teased Jungkook, "You're still maknae, but now your aura is like Young's." Jungkook laughed, covering his face. The moment is light, sincere, like two brothers who finally meet again. Not a single army was untouched. The chemistry between them is so natural. They talked about the future of BTS, their respective futures, and most importantly, the future with ARMY. "We're not done yet," Jkcomeback said. And Jungkook chimed in, "We're just getting started again." Transformation of the idol. The concert also featured a surprising new side of Jungkook. In the third segment of the concert, she performed songs from her solo album that had never been performed live, such as Hate You, Yes or No, and Too Sad to Dance. All delivered with dark visuals, full of contrast, reflecting her fragile but strong side. He no longer just sings, but delves into every song as an artist. The emotion on her face, the way she looked at the camera, the slow but meaningful gestures all showed her evolution. From a teenager who learned to sing in a small rehearsal room, to a world-class performer who mastered the giant stage with a calm and thrilling aura. No one can deny that that night, Jungkook not only performed the song, he performed himself. Without a mask, without a script. He opened the door to his soul, and the ARMY entered without knocking. Purple Ocean Light. One moment that will never be forgotten is when the song Magic Shop is played. But it wasn't Jungkook who sang it, but the audience. Thousands of sounds come together in an electrifying harmony. Jungkook sat at the end of the stage, holding the mic but not singing. He's just listening. His eyes were glazed. He smiled as he looked at the thousands of lightstick ARMY bombs that lit up in unison, creating a living sea of purple. The light is not just a symbol of fandom. It is a symbol of love. A love that knows no distance, no time, no boundaries. When the song was over, Jungkook stood up and bowed deeply. It doesn't say much. Just, "Thank you for creating a safe place for me." That sentence was simple, but it resonated in the minds of everyone present that night. Encore and wordless hug. As if not wanting the night to end, Jungkook returned to the stage for an encore. He performed a remixed version of Seven, Standing Next to You, and ended with My You, a song he dedicated specifically to the ARMY. The big screen shows clips from rehearsals, past concerts, and little moments that remind everyone how long Jungkook's journey has been. Each picture is a flashback of the struggle, hard work, and love he gave and received. When the last song was finished, Jungkook did not immediately get off the stage. He stood still, then slowly walked to the edge. There he bowed, then placed his hands on his chest. She didn't say a word, just let her tears speak. The whole building fell silent. And in that moment, there was no distance between the star and her fans. There is no difference between the stage and the audience seats. There is only love. A hug without a touch, without a word, but felt so real. It's a stage of history. Hope on the stage will be remembered as more than just a concert. It was Jungkook's declaration of love for the world. It is a sign that the star never goes out, only sometimes hidden behind the clouds. It is a history that will be retold by the next generation of K-pop fans. After the lights went out and the building slowly emptied, the atmosphere did not immediately disappear. Many still sit, cry, smile, reflect. Many say, "I came just to see a concert, but instead I found a part of me that had been missing." And perhaps, that's Jungkook's true strength. He not only sings to be heard, but to touch. He not only appeared to be praised, but to strengthen. It is the voice of hope that we need in a world that is too noisy. Thank you, Jungkook. To all tones that heal wounds. For all the lyrics that replace crying. For all the dances that move the soul. For your courage showed vulnerability. For your belief that hope is always worth fighting for. And thank you, because that night, you didn't just give a concert. You gave me hope. You gave me a house. You gave yourself completely, and we will always be here, standing by your side. Hope on the stage is not the end, it is the beginning of a new chapter, more beautiful, stronger, and more full of love.